What's happening, sports fans? Welcome to the playoffs. I guess the playoffs have been going for a little bit now. I do want to give a quick shout out before we get going any further to the championships that happened this weekend with girls tennis. The team tennis championships all being decided. Canyon Crest retains their open division championship run. We're going to get, though, to football championships on this video. Before we get there, though, let's do a quick word from our sponsors, the U.S. Army. Thank you again, guys. Welcome to the Division 5 edition of the CIF San Diego Section Football Playoff Show. Christian Pedersen, Tommy Morris, Bodie De Silva joining us on behalf of Scorebook Live. Scorebook Live is the official digital content provider of all things CIF, as we say all season. But this is a perfect example of what that actually means in real life, is that if you want to follow along with the show, download the SB Live Sports app. Make sure you open up all those brackets because they are very nicely designed. And I know that SB Live is a big company and there's a lot of people that work there, but I like to envision Bodie handcrafting each one of these brackets as artistically as possible.
There's a lot of help. I certainly cannot take credit.
There is a ton of help, but there's also a ton of football to talk about. So let's do this. I will pull, even though I'm thinking now that maybe it's not going to work perfectly on the little window that I have ultimately in this final shot, but I'll pull up the Division 5 brackets. Crawford getting the bye, Army Navy Academy getting the bye, Classical Academy getting the bye, Escondido Charter getting the bye. I think we have kind of discussed this season as being somewhat Crawford versus the field here in this division. There's a couple of between, I think the other three teams that got byes. You could say like it's going to be a fun competitive final potentially, but this episode is largely dedicated to the field. Starting with that, we got Castle Park and Southwest El Centro as the 8-9 game. Bodie De Silva from Scorebook Live. What do you say we start with you?
Yeah, I like what Castle Park's done later on in the year, and I think that key there is they don't have to make that trip out there. When it comes down to that, I'm going to take Castle Park to win that one in 8-9 though. But as we know with 8-9, it's almost always a coin flip in those two.
Tommy Morris, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I like Castle Park also. Showed a little bit more this year, but I think it will be pretty close. I like Castle Park in this game.
I will point out that 8-9's always difficult to compare, especially when these are also teams that had decently challenging schedules in terms of playing upwards. So that's kind of the fun sometimes, though, with Division 5 is you never know what you get until it all kind of get it in that same level. Mar Vista, the 5, Hoover, the 12. Mar Vista, another team with that same affliction this year. They played a ton of really tough games, Division 3 teams that's a hard strength of schedule. Hoover this year, kind of one of the good stories of a program that seems to be absolutely trending in the right direction. Tommy Morris, let's start with you here.
I had to double check because I wasn't sure if they played each other yet. They have not played each other yet, but I do like I like Mar Vista in this one. I think that they are a sneaky good team. I know going into the year, a lot of people like them as potentially winning this whole bracket. The way it's shaped out, they're end up being 5-5, and they're going to have to do some work to get to the finals. But I like Mar Vista here, and again, team that can be sneaky dangerous in this Division 5 tournament.
Bodie De Silva from Scorebook Live, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I agree. Looking at the top seeds, a lot of small private schools. I think Mar Vista is one of those ones as a public school that can put up a lot of points that maybe can make a run if they can get past in round one, which I do think they will.
The only problem with Mar Vista, to me, being on this side of the bracket is that they started the season against Crawford with a great game, and it would be poetic if they could finish the season championship-wise with a rematch against Crawford. But either way, you're going to get something good here. Other side of the bracket, we've got Mountain Empire and Vincent Memorial. This one's going to be at Vincent Memorial, so a little bit of a drive from Mountain Empire. Bodie De Silva from Scorebook Live, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, two schools far outside of San Diego County making the trip there. I'm going to go with Vincent Memorial, just kind of holding serve there at home. Mountain Empire snuck their way into the playoffs, but I think Vincent Memorial will be able to put up some points and get a somewhat easy victory there in round one.
Tommy Morris, your thoughts?
I hate keeping agreeing with you, Bodie, but I have to agree with you. I think that's a tough drive. There's a reason why they're seated the way they're seated, and I like Vince Memorial on this one.
I have a feeling that the playoffs will get more and more splintered picks wise as we get later into the brackets. Number 10, Claremont is going to go to travel at El Cajon Valley, the number 7 seed. I have said it all along this season that El Cajon Valley just has to get to the playoffs, and it's a bonus if they can get a home game because they've got a great run game that can take over the need be small sample size of a playoff city. Claremont has been kind of they've had some ups, they've had some downs, but largely that is trending upwards entirely. Them and Hoover, both great stories in this bracket in terms of teams that kind of exceeded at least our external expectations. I know internally they say they all had great years, but it's a great story here. I think El Cajon Valley, though, is lethal in these playoffs. Bodie, agree or disagree?
Yeah, I would agree. You talked about the ground game. Kalel Gordon, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, but he's gone for over 100 yards, I believe 7 out of 7 games so far this year. 16 rushing touchdowns, over 2,500 yards the last 2 seasons. I think they get him going, and I don't disagree. If they can get past round 1, I certainly give them a chance against Escondido Charter. Escondido Charter is a really good team, so it's not any given. But if they can get that ground game going, control some clock, I wouldn't rule them out here.
Tommy Morris, your thoughts?
This will be the quickest game time-wise at real time because Claremont never throws and El Cajon Valley likes to run the ball too. So if you look at common opponents, they both played Hoover. Claremont lost to Hoover. El Cajon Valley beat Hoover pretty handily. So going by that math, I think you have to say El Cajon Valley is a pretty strong favorite in this game.
There you have it. Everyone else got a bye and is moving on. Congratulations to all those teams. These games will be going down Friday night. The first weekend of November means the start of playoffs. It's going to be a blast. For more scores, updates like that, make sure you download the SB Live Sports app, not Scorebook Live app. They've updated their branding, their graphics. They're very hip and cool and trendy now. They're the source for everything. Make sure you jump around to check out our other playoff brackets. Tommy, Bodie, thank you very much. Let's move on to Division 4.